We're live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the last ever edition of Talk Wrestling with Jimmy and Frank. I'm Nick Durst here to moderate. This is going to be a hot debate, and it's all for one reason. It's not a front yard. It's not a backyard. It's just his yard.
Yep.
And we'll take it. We'll go right to Frank right away. Frank, what are your thoughts?
On what? On Jimmy?
On the end of Jimmy Mania. After tonight, he's going to leave his hat, his gloves, his trench coat right in the middle of YouTube and never return.
Well, the Macho Man has his crying towel waiting for him. So wait, I want to know from Jimmy.
Tell me something, Frank.
Yes.
Does it look like I'm crying?
Hey, the Macho Man's, it's not me, it's the Macho Man.
The Macho Man's dead, so what he says really don't mean anything.
And he's got a pail for Roman Reigns' career, because that's where his career's going. Yeah.
Oh, I can tell you this. Anyone that watches my channel knows that I said I had no problem with Reigns winning because a 50-something-year-old Undertaker who's obviously broken down, who can't even do his signature moves anymore. I mean, I watched that match 3 times already. It was embarrassing.
Terrible match.
I love The Undertaker. I can't make excuses for it. It's like the Orton-Wyatt match. It was embarrassing. It was horrendous. Yeah. I'm not going to make excuses for my guys. I'll leave the excuses up to WWE because that's all I heard.
I thought a funny comment was Frank when he was like, why is Roman just running off the ropes a million times? I think he was trying to let Undertaker catch his breath.
I think so, yeah. But hold on. Well, James, I've always said this. Undertaker should have retired in 2015.
I felt he should have retired when he went 20-0.
Okay, but
you really want a perfect ending? The way they walked up that ramp with Triple H and Shawn Michaels?
End of an era.
You're not a fan.
What era ended that night? Nothing.
I know you're not a fan of the Hunter, the Hearst, and the Helmsley, but that match was incredible. And there was no better way. That was his last, to me, breathtaking match.
Okay,
his match with Punk was good. Matches with Brock, I know you're a fan of. To me, that was his last breathtaking performance.
But we know that payday is it's tough to
He's done.
No, I'm saying
that man kissed his wife.
I know, but I'm saying going back to 2014, it's tough to turn down Vince's phone call for $1 million to come back for one day. You know,
I'm actually surprised he retired this. I figured he'd do like one last match, like a tag team match with Kane or something, so he wouldn't have to do anything. But the reports today are that he has to get a hip replacement.
Yeah,
that's been apparent since the Rumble.
That's his second. That's his other hip.
As you all saw when he was on Raw 2 weeks ago and chokeslammed Strowman for no reason to continue burying him. He was grimacing in pain.
No, that wasn't a grimace in pain. What that was him, oh, fuck, I turned my back on Reigns. That's what, he's done that in the past. He's done it in the past. And listen, I'm not going to sit there and make excuses for his performance at Mania because it was dog shit. But that I understand why most people would think that, but he's done it in the past. Just take my word for it.
I'll take your word for it.
A telltale sign that he was going to retire Sunday was JR calling the match.
Once I heard Jim Ross.
Because for years, it was that Undertaker wanted Jim Ross to call his last match. So,
well, my friends and I that were watching Mania together, they said there are 3 signs that Taker's going out and he's retiring. 1, if it's the last match. 2, if JR calls it. And 3, if he wears his original attire, which he did. Which I was hoping, beyond all hope, because Paul Bear said in an interview with Cornette years ago that he's hopeful that the last thing you see would be the first thing you saw. And I felt he should have worn his original, especially it would have fit the quality of the match because when he first showed up, he wasn't having kick-ass matches. It was choke, throat thrust, tombstone, body bag to the back.
Well, I want to say this about the entrance. Kudos to WWE for not putting him on camera until he was halfway down the ramp. He took 5 minutes, 23 seconds to get to the ring.
Oh, man.
And it would have been much longer if they would have walked the whole way. But I'm a little surprised for his last match that he didn't have a better entrance. He's usually had these, drones.
Agreed. Usually his entrance are a little more intricate, but The last 3 years, they really haven't been. The last great entrance he had was at 29 when he came up with all the souls grabbing at his feet.
Yeah, Sami Zayn was there.
That I was there, and I saw it, and I'm like, holy! I'm taking us a little out of character here.
Field trip.
My sister drew that with chalk.
Wow.
She made that for me as a gift after the streak ended. She did that for me. And yes, I have no shame in saying The Undertaker is my hero. I traveled hours in a Greyhound bus to go from here to Chicago just to meet the man. It was worth it because when I got to tell him what I thought of him, the guy got up from his chair and shook my hand.
Nah. So obviously, great career, no debating that. But it was great that was the second worst match on WrestleMania's card.
I debate that it was the worst.
Ooh.
I debate that, and I love Undertaker. I say that was the worst match.
So obviously, the other match, which was horrendous.
The other match was horrendous, was but we're going to go through the whole card.
Yeah.
We're going to start with the opening match, which...
Hold on. I want to... So let's go to the match. Midway through the match, when Roman starts to get offense, and he looks like the Undertaker's getting beat up. What are you thinking?
What I'm thinking is, why are they playing the sympathy card with Reigns? The fans are not going to buy it. It's not like when Taker was going to make the throat cut symbol, and Shawn Michaels was pulling himself up. No one was booing Undertaker when he retired Shawn Michaels. Just like no one was booing Shawn Michaels when he retired Ric Flair. For those matches, they picked the right people. In this particular match, it was the wrong guy.
What were your thoughts when the Undertaker was trying to get up and crawling up?
What I said to myself, honestly,
when Roman Reigns kept
I'll tell you what I'm up.
Because that's a sign of disrespect. That was a sign of Roman getting arrogant and disrespecting him.
I'll tell you what I was thinking. Why are they doing this?
He was acting like a heel.
But he's not a heel, and that's the problem. If the guy actually embraced being a heel...
That was being a heel.
Listen, a heel, and I'm going to settle this once and for all, because to me, this is a ridiculous argument. There are clear-cut heels. Kevin Owens is a clear-cut heel. Bray Wyatt's a clear-cut heel, where the announcers will call what he does dastardly. They don't do that for Roman Reigns.
I don't understand why they give Roman fireworks after the match. If they didn't do that,
to them it's a thing.
Maybe he is a heel.
Well, the reason they did that, Nick, is because to them it's a celebration, because they're further hammering home the fact that he is their guy, and it's doing more harm than good. When your number one babyface has the fans literally chanting, "Go away," that's embarrassing.
I gotta say, I love that Raw promo. I think.
Hold on. Let's. Okay, so now he's disrespecting him, and then I guess he finally beats him. But then at the end, he looks like he's a little. Roman Reigns looks like he's having second thoughts, and he keeps looking back at the Undertaker, like as he was trying. The stories they were trying to say that the story is like, oh wow, he actually is respecting the Undertaker. So what do you think about that, James?
I think it's bullshit, because Roman Reigns. I said this 1,000 times. Anyone who is the company hand-chosen guy, the fans are going to reject. It doesn't matter if they're jacked. It doesn't matter if they spent 15 years on the indies. If there is a perception that the company's going to push this particular guy to the moon against the wishes of the fans, they're going to reject him. It doesn't matter how big he is, how small he is, doesn't matter. Roman Reigns has that perception built around him.
Well, so they're telling his story that on one hand, he's an arrogant, cocky son of a bitch who disrespects even the Undertaker. And then a few minutes later, he's having second thoughts. And he actually...
They're trying to play both sides, and it's ridiculous. You can't be half pregnant. You either are or you're not.
Okay. Now I want to ask both of you this. He beats him. What does the crowd reaction change after the Undertaker puts his gloves and attire in the ring, signifying his retirement?
The crowd reaction. I don't know what you mean by that.
Well,
the crowd reaction for who?
For Roman Reigns.
Oh, absolutely not. It doesn't change. Actually, no. I'm wrong. It does change.
I'm saying if the Undertaker didn't show that he was retiring, would it have been the same?
Oh, it's still, listen. if the show starts with Roman Reigns coming out after beating Undertaker, he's still getting booed.
Well, not if he didn't retire. It wouldn't have been.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you.
Would it have been as vile as the reaction was? I'm not sure. It still would have been bad.
So let me ask you, James, about Raw. Do you think? I don't know. You probably didn't watch, but you've seen that segment.
I saw the segment. I saw it both edited and unedited.
Well, do you think Roman said too much, too little, or just enough?
What I said, what I think is, no, he didn't say enough. And what I think he should have said was he should have been gloating about beating The Undertaker. He should have completely turned heel.
Well, that was his, like, I got you in the palm of my hand thing.
Oh, wait a minute.
But let me explain something to you about that. When you have the crowd in the palm of your hands, what that means is you can control no matter what they want, you can control them. If he wanted to turn them in his favor, he couldn't do it. That's having the crowd. The Rock could have the crowd in the palm of his hand, meaning if he wanted them to boo him, he got them to boo him. But if he wanted them to cheer him, he could do it.
All right, so Frank, what do you think? Too much, too little, or just enough?
Bubba Ray Dudley, he tweeted some fan, he's like, oh, Roman has 15,000 people in the palm of his hand, and then some fan argued not, and Bubba Ray called him a jerk off, saying that he does have heat. I say no. Roman Reigns did nothing. If you go back, Raw started off the first 7 minutes without Roman. The crowd was already hot.
Right.
So Roman didn't do nothing. All Roman did was get booked to beat The Undertaker.
Well, do you think he should have had a longer promo, or should have not came out at all?
It was it was ballsy. They, it was good. It was good that they just get it out of the way to see what's going to happen. Because I mean, obviously, come on, they knew the crowd was going to be amped. I mean, from the beginning, the crowd would have hijacked the show all night. So he comes out 7 minutes after the chance. Then now the crowd keeps going and going and going.
So unfortunately, it looks like we're going to see Strowman versus Reigns again. We know Strowman has no shot to win. So I don't know why they're even going to bother with that. But we'll see what the roster shakes.
I'm going to tell you why they're going to bother with that. Because in their mind, he's the only one that matters. And that's why I'm turning my back on the product. You have talented guys on the roster, like The Miz. You have talented guys on the roster, like Bray Wyatt. You have talented guys on the roster, like Finn Balor. Guys like Seth Rollins.
Wait a minute. I don't know. What are you guys talking about? Him and Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is facing Brock.
No.
Brock,
not at all.
Brock and Braun had a stare down, and then Braun was like, after I'm done with Roman Reigns, then you could have him. And then Braun backed out of the ring because Brock was like, fight me right now. And Braun was like, no, I'm going after Roman Reigns.
Oh, okay. All right, well, they may have the match Monday, and then they're going to probably
they should do that.
The fact that their number one babyface is so hated, it's not rejection anymore, because Frank and I had this discussion months ago that he felt that the fans just rejected him. Now it's hatred.
All right. Well, listen, we could go on about this the whole episode. Let's go through all of WrestleMania. Before we go through the card here, I want to know, I was a little surprised that there wasn't too many crazy good entrances. What were your favorite entrances? James, you first.
Entrances. Good question.
Nothing really stood out this year.
You want to know something? You're 100% right. The only entrance that really got me amped up was the Hardys, because it was a surprise, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, another entrance I enjoyed. Obviously I'm biased.
Triple H, of course.
I'm biased. I think Triple H's entrance was his knockoff of Undertaker's.
Last year's entrance sucked, so this one.
Triple H was driving an oversized tricycle with Stephanie in the back.
With his training wheels on.
Stephanie was looking hot.
Sasha had a cool entrance, but they didn't really have a good camera angle. Charlotte had the fireworks, but they could have did more there. Bailey's things didn't even pop up until she's in the ring. They screwed up there.
I think the focus of the entrances was the LED ramp.
Yep, that was cool. Seth Rollins with the torch lit it up.
Yeah, I didn't understand what the hell that meant.
That was dumb.
Well, I understood what it signified. It signified that Seth Rollins, because he said this in a promo, that he's going to burn everything around.
Oh, he's burning
everything down.
Okay.
So they were validating that promo, which,
Randy Orton, I like that.
So I would say the best entrance, obviously Jericho's scarf was cool, like glow in the dark, but Naomi's entrance was
The
cool.
light brightness scarf.
Naomi's entrance and Enzo and Cass, 70-something thousand people chanting SAWFT soft. That was an amazing moment.
That's not how you spell soft.
Well, let's go through the card. We're going to start off with the opening match, unfortunately, which was AJ Styles and Shane McMahon. Now,
how about the pre-show?
I don't even want to. Why am I going to waste my time?
Well, we got to talk about the Battle Royal. What'd you
The
think
Battle
of Gronk?
Royal was retarded.
You didn't like Gronk being in there?
The Battle Royal was retarded.
Nick,
because-
what's the relationship between Gronk and Mojo?
Best friends. They worked out together.
How in the hell?
Mojo
How
was
in
in
the
the
hell
NFL.
do you have? There were 3 guys in that Battle Royal that I felt it should have came down to. Apollo Crews is one of them. Sami Zayn's another, and Braun Strowman was the other guy. If any of those 3 guys would have won, I'd have been cool with it. Mojo fucking Rawley, that dude.
Listen, they had plans for Mojo 2-3 years ago. He was supposed to be the next Cena.
Listen, you can't blame them because they wanted to get Gronk in there. I would have had Mojo have a one-on-one match and have Gronk, and they could.
That's what they should have did. If you were that desperate to put that, that player on the screen.
Or how about this for a foreign concept? A tag team match for SmackDown, and you could have Mojo and Gronk taking on whoever. But SmackDown, they don't care about the tag titles. Or
No, they don't. No, they
let me ask you guys
absolutely
something. The night after, when Mojo gave that interview, did any of you? I don't know if James, you saw it.
I didn't watch.
Nick, didn't you think that interview was awkward with Mojo?
Well, what's that? First of all, what's that lady's name who does the interviews on SmackDown?
Don't know, but
Nah,
we're deep.
I think her name is Charlie
we're
Caruso.
deviating.
Charlie
She
Caruso.
is like not good.
Overall, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal gets a thumbs down from me.
Yeah, but I'm saying that interview killed Mojo's.
Right.
He had no momentum to begin with.
Well, I'm saying his interview was awkward.
You have to have Mojo out there on Tuesday in a match beating somebody. That's what
Then he was telling her, "Oh, I'm so happy. Do you feel it? Do you feel it?" And she's like, "Not really." It's like, "Oh my god!"
It was retarded to watch. The fact, and I don't care who gets mad when I say this, and I'm sure Mike is probably watching this, and he hates this guy, so I'm going to say it even more. The fact that Sami Zayn, who was in the feud of the year in 2016, was in the fucking pre-show.
How about this, James?
Makes
if
me
Samoa Joe isn't going to be in the Triple H Rollins match, why isn't he winning this match?
I don't understand why Samoa Joe wasn't wrestling. He easily had one of the best
Doesn't make
things
sense.
he's had in a while.
That
It
makes
was
sense.
retarded.
Well, I'll explain to you why. Because he debuted kind of late, so
Then they should have held him off till the day after Mania.
Yep.
If you weren't going to use him at WrestleMania,
Listen,
hold
there's
him
too
off.
many storylines. The day after Mania, they had Finn Balor already penciled in there. I told you that.
Balor was ready after the Rumble. They should
Yeah,
have won.
but the same thing. They can't.
What's he going to do at Mania, though?
Yeah, they can't keep. They can't
It
just.
should have been him and the Undertaker.
Nah.
Demon versus Demon. That's what it should have been. At the
I don't
very
know.
least, the crowd wouldn't have shit on it.
I think Finn would have got booed.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, we'll see what happens with that going forward.
Well,
Let's
I
talk about
thought
that
that Battle Royal was ridiculous. Then you get to the IC title match.
They ran out of time for that match. That was just a throwaway match.
The women's match should have been the pre-show.
No, Dean Ambrose gets another crappy WrestleMania match.
Yeah, ridiculous. He deserves so much better, but
Absolutely,
whatever.
he deserves better. Dean Ambrose.
I'm glad he won, though. He should have
No,
won.
I'm glad he listened. I didn't care who won because I'm a fan of Baron Corbin, but I did feel that Dean, I did agree with Frank that Dean needed it more
Owens
because
for
Baron's
Ambrose
just
swap.
starting.
Owens for Ambrose swap would make sense.
But Dean is probably going to go to Raw.
Yeah, swap the champs, and then you could have Owens go after whoever. I don't know. But so first match though, AJ versus Shane, much better than anticipated.
Yes, the match was better than I thought. I thought the match was going to be a dud. However, I still stand by my stance that AJ Styles was the MVP of WWE. Is there another guy in that company that was producing better matches than AJ Styles? The simple answer is no, NXT included, for those of us that watched it. And the fact that AJ was in the opening match.
So what? Doesn't matter. It's better that he's in the
If
opening.
you're not closing the show, you want to start it.
Yeah, James, don't you see a lot of people down like in the middle in the second half? A lot the crowd lost energy.
Yeah, like that terrible WWE title match.
Yeah, it's just, or
Nick's gonna really hammer that home. Nick's gonna really hammer that match home.
A lot of people I've seen online that was their favorite match. They called that.
Hey, listen, if everyone enjoyed it, that's great. More power to you.
What I don't understand is how come every time Shane does a big move, they don't let him hit it? It would be such a better moment if he hits his big move. Why does he have to miss all the time?
Oh, he missed the elbow, but he hit the coast to coast.
He hit his coast.
No, he did like the 450 back flip, and
the fact that he could do that at that age is impressive.
Because really, if he hit that, he still could have lost. And even last year, if he hit the elbow on Undertaker, would it have made a difference? If he still could have lost, it wouldn't have mattered. He should have just been able to hit it.
I guess to each their own. Like I said, I felt that AJ, for all his work, deserved a worthy opponent.
But if you watch SmackDown, it seems like AJ's turning face now.
Well, that would be the smart thing to do since he gets cheered more than everyone else.
And don't forget he's gonna probably go to Raw.
Yeah, he should.
So with AJ, they ran out of storylines with him on SmackDown. So I think the best thing happened that he did go against Shane.
Definitely a good match. That was surprising.
Absolutely. Then you get Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. They flowed well. The match actually had a fucking story to it, which every championship match to me should.
I don't know why Jericho didn't come to the ring with the list, because I would have liked to see him that.
Well, the reason for that is because they had the giant list.
They should have had him go like
a nice
pen or something and write on it.
Well, I thought it was a nice touch.
There was a few things wrong with that match. I think that match fell a little flat. The crowd was a little quiet. I think it's because the crowd didn't want to take sides in this. Right. They actually liked Jericho and Owens. They liked him, and they didn't want to choose sides. I think Owens tried his best to get as much heat as possible by yelling at Jericho. And then he did the heelish thing of putting one finger on the rope. I thought
that was brilliant.
Yeah, it's a heel move. But I think, like I said, I think the crowd didn't know was confused, and they didn't want to take sides. And I think this fell flat.
And also, everyone knew Jericho was losing, so it's hard to get into a match where you know.
Yeah, but the thing is, yes, predictability can be harmful, but sometimes it's not that bad. Listen, I don't think there were many people that felt Kevin Owens should have lost this match because he would have gained nothing from it. Jericho is cast iron. I think, considering his latest run, we can put Chris Jericho in Undertaker's class in terms of reinventing himself. Can we agree on that?
Oh, yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, of course.
The guy is constantly adapting, constantly changing, allowing his character to evolve. It's that there's something to be said for that.
Frank, where would you put this last run for Jericho, like in his all-time runs, with his initial, his Torch one with Orton, and then his Fandango one? Where is this rank?
Yeah, I was always a favorite of his WCW run. He was funny. I liked that.
Like 1,000 holes.
1,000 falls. I liked his heel run against Shawn Michaels. That was good.
Yes.
And I like this. This was pretty good.
This was a good one.
It was the best one I think since that heel run.
He really carried Raw with Charlotte over the summer.
I think him and Kevin Owens and Charlotte were the stars of Raw for the last 6 months.
Yeah, I mean obviously I think we can agree this should have been the Universal title match with Jericho coming in. Jericho should have came into the show with the belt.
Well, I could definitely tell you it belonged higher on the card than Brock and Goldberg, at least in my mind.
Brock Goldberg, we'll get to it, but
what was the next match? Because I don't have the match card in front of me.
The next match, I mean, wasn't it the tag team match?
The tag team ladder match?
I believe so.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. The match was good. Quality-wise, it was good. And the Hardys were a legit surprise. I didn't think they were going to show up until Monday.
I thought they had to show up Tuesday, but again, nobody cares about SmackDown tag.
Yeah, the SmackDown tag division has been completely eviscerated.
That's why they got to have either New Day or Enzo and Cass go to SmackDown next.
I agree. It's a double-edged sword for me because, yes, I have no shame in saying I love the Hardys. They're one of the best tag teams I've seen in a while. However, it also speaks to the fact of how are any of these teams supposed to get ahead if the old guys, think about this. Your world champion on Raw is Brock, and your tag champions are the Hardys. What is this, 2002?
Well, at least the Hardys beat every week.
James, but how can you argue the pop that the Hardys
I'm not arguing with it.
See, I'm gonna agree with James here. They could have came out, been in the match, and lost, and they could have went to SmackDown then, and they still would have had the same reaction. Enzo and Cass.
Crowd wasn't going to care about the Hardys, wasn't going to care about them less if they lost. And honestly, I felt, as much as I don't care for them, because I recognize where they're going to go with them, they're going to fuck one and they're going to push the other. I felt Enzo and Cass should have won. That was the one mistake that I felt NXT made at the beginning, was not putting the belts. Just because someone doesn't need a belt doesn't mean they shouldn't get it. It's like Jake the Snake. I don't know what you guys think of Jake the Snake. He never won a title. I felt he should have had one, whether it was the IC or the World Heavyweight. The guy was a good character. He could wrestle and he could talk. Just because someone doesn't need it.
I think they should have won, and I think it's time that Cesaro and Sheamus go their separate ways.
Agreed.
If not, maybe they should have a best of 7 series to get it over with. But I'm sick of them. They're not a real tag team.
Let me ask you something. Is it gonna affect your like for the Hardy Boys if they don't get to do the Broken Hardys?
Listen, I didn't watch TNA. I gave up on TNA when they allowed Jeff Hardy to wrestle high. I never went back.
Certainly, you had to have seen.
I've seen the broken stuff. I've seen the broken stuff, and I think it's so bad it's good. So
it's come on, that was the hottest angle.
No,
of the
listen,
summer.
Everyone was talking about it, and honestly,
it's over. I mean, come on.
If the WWE has the ability to allow them to do it, they should allow them to do it because
TNA owns the.
No, they don't. They don't own the rights
right now.
They don't own the rights to it. The Hardys are Matt's about to. That case is about to be squashed, and it's Matt.
Really, I heard Dave Meltzer say that WWE is trying to negotiate because the TNA wants a percentage of the royalty.
Listen, they're a lost cause.
Listen, this is what they need to do with the Hardys. If they have a year-long contract, come the TLC pay-per-view, they got to bring back Bubba Ray, and they got to just have a TLC match with the Dudleys.
Well, they want to do that. That's fine. In terms of Bubba Ray, you want to disrespect your audience, I got nothing for you.
So how about this? The Hardy Boys, all within the span of a month, were the TNA, ROH, and WWE Tag Team Champions. Very impressive.
It is impressive. It absolutely is impressive. I think the next match...
And they beat the club, who were what they say, the only one of 3 teams ever to have the IWPG and the WWE Tag Teams. With the
I don't know about you guys, but I think the club, the Mr. Bald Twins, are just total nerds. They need to get a little better of a gimmick.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. They got shot down by the WWE early.
That's what happens.
I think they're basically brought in to put over people in the long run.
Well, the problem is they came in with a lot of fanfare, and people wanted to see them, and people wanted to see them with guys like AJ, guys like Fowler.
People wanted to see the club.
And the problem is, you can't. I say this all the time, and it always goes over everyone's heads. And luckily, I won't have to say this no more. I'll leave that to the other people. You can't expect people to be effective if all they do is lose. And I'm sorry, but the club were effective in Japan because they were featured properly. And you can't expect them to be. It's like the Macho Man.
I think that's why WWE signed them. They weren't signed.
They signed them for the wrong reasons. It's that simple. They could be effective, but
they signed them. They signed them for merchandise to sell.
Who's buying Gallows and Anderson shirts?
No, the club.
Listen. I see a lot of people walking around with the "No One Is Safe" shirt. Believe me, I do. But anyways, the next match I think was the women's match.
Yes, fatal.
And the thing that was immediately wrong with this match was the fact that Charlotte didn't walk in as the champion. Because the fact of the matter is this: while I am bored of seeing Charlotte as the champion because I've seen it for so many times,
what a waste of pay-per-view streak.
The fact is, they were at Fastlane. Why in the bluest of blue fucks would you end the longest reigning female undefeated streak on pay-per-view a month before your biggest show of the year? That was so retarded.
And at this point, if she's not walking into WrestleMania as champ, she should have left WrestleMania as champ. I don't know what.
You want to know what their reasoning is behind that?
To make her face, she's got to be face.
No, they're trying to build up other females and future opponents, for credible opponents for her.
You mean they're going to send her to SmackDown?
It doesn't matter. It just can't be Charlotte and Sasha.
They got to do Charlotte versus Nia Jax like they teased. That's not a big match.
But that's what.
But what I'm saying is, if Bayley was going to win, which I had no problem with because I happen to be a fan of Bayley, how much more effective is it? What's more effective? That she beats Charlotte for the belt on a free episode of Raw or Fastlane, or that she does it at WrestleMania?
I was surprised Bayley walked out as champ. I thought Nia Jax.
They're trying to build up stars. Charlotte is untouchable. Paul Heyman said last week. He said Charlotte. He predicts Charlotte will be the first female to main event WrestleMania.
Hell yeah!
The future.
I got no problem with that.
Versus, I think all agree. Charlotte's definitely going to end up being a 16-time champ. They're going to do that.
At the rate she's going, she's going to go down as the greatest women's wrestler of all time. Which, honestly, considering her athleticism, considering the match quality,
she is genetically superior, like she says.
You know what? The match that's going to be money. Charlotte versus Asuka.
Ooh. WrestleMania main event next year?
That's gonna be. Let me tell you. I know. You saw me post that girl Asuka. She is money. She is charismatic.
What do you guys think of Charlotte's corkscrew moonsault? That was insane.
That dropped my jaw.
She said in interviews. I remember, if you guys ever saw, I interviewed her, and she said she could do that every night, but they tell her not to because it makes the other woman look bad because she can do things that no one else can do.
Oh, a lot of them can. A lot of the talent.
You
really think that Adrian Neville has shown you all the moves he can do? No. Come now.
See, that's why they don't do all the wrestlers get dialed back because otherwise, guys like Cena will look stupid.
Well, no, but Charlotte was saying
all right, the next match.
First, I don't know, James. Who do you think should have won that match?
Oh, I had no problem. I felt Bayley should have won that match, but it should have been her taking the belt from Charlotte.
I thought Nia Jax should have won.
Or I would have had no problem with Sasha Banks turning heel and taking the belt. That would have been smart. Sasha's money as a villain. That's how she got over to begin with. Nia Jax, I got no problem with her. My sister's friends with her, so I'm not going to say anything bad about her.
And she's The Rock's cousin.
The whole show about the
Where was The Rock? Why wasn't he on the show?
He's filming movies.
He needs to be there at WrestleMania.
The Rock, unless he's going to do a job to a young talent, I have no desire to see him wrestle.
So the next match was Triple H versus Seth Rollins. I thought he was going to come out and rock bottom Triple H here once Samoa Joe came out because Samoa Joe is a Samoan who's not his cousin, so that doesn't fly too well. And he's the only Samoan who's not related to The Rock, so I thought he might get involved there because they had the Triple H segment. But why was nobody involved in this match except Stephanie? I didn't get it.
Well, you want to know something? What I liked about this match, there are a few things. The psychology of working on Seth's knee. The selling by Seth. Now, Frank, you're always a big proponent of selling.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins sold big time in this match.
Yeah, but it's, you know what? It becomes, after a while, they ask you to suspend your belief. He comes in with an injured knee. His opponent works on his knee for 10 minutes. He's screaming in pain, and then he could do a Phoenix Splash. Come on, it's
Phoenix Splash was nice. That's the first time.
But how could somebody?
Yeah, it makes no sense with the knee injury.
That's a fair. It's a fair criticism.
Triple H destroyed his knee, and he does a Phoenix Splash with no problem.
Obviously, Seth Rollins should have won. He won. Now, Frank. It's pretty much a lock. We're going to see the Shield back together in a few months, right? On Raw?
No, I think Seth Rollins is going to SmackDown.
Oh, you think him and Ambrose are going to swap?
Yeah. I think Roman Reigns is going to SmackDown to carry.
Oh, you think Roman's going to SmackDown?
No, Roman is going to SmackDown. Wow. I think Roman is going to SmackDown.
How's he going to versus Brock?
I think they're going to hold off on that.
It's going to happen now on WrestleMania then.
Maybe not.
So maybe Roman wins the Rumble and he goes and takes down the Universal Champion.
Maybe that's the only way it'll happen.
That's what. So then Roman will go to SmackDown, keep him out of the way.
Because I don't think they want it. It doesn't make no sense to get Brock.
James is just hating this over there. It sucks, but it's gonna happen, James.
Because
There's no denying it.
you heard what Heyman said. Because the two, history says the two says should go 1-on-1.
And the fans completely shit all over Heyman when he did that.
No, because they know that they're afraid that Roman's going to win and beat Brock. That's why.
Oh, because he is. Because nothing else matters.
All right, let's go, move on. Go ahead.
All right, next match. The match that actually had a great build-up thanks to two people, The Miz and Maurice. Miz and Maurice for Cena and Nikki Bella. The promos leading up to this was great. Total Bellas was kind of funny. Frank doesn't really like that stuff, but he liked it, I think. And then Nikki Bella, anytime she grabbed the mic, just
What? I don't like what?
the promos.
I don't like what? The parody?
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, I thought you didn't like when he became serious last week at the end of the Total Bellas episode.
Oh no! Listen, I had an idea. I think for the duration that Cena and Nikki Bella are out, I think the Miz and Maurice should be fake Cena and fake.
That'd be funny, but I don't understand. We knew Nikki was gonna get the win because she never loses,
and she's retired.
Why didn't Miz and Maurice take out Cena and Nikki on yesterday? There was no reason for them to just not show up. They should have took them out.
What aggravated me about this match was the fact that Cena and Nikki Bella are going away for a while, right?
Yeah.
The
will not see us for a very, very long time.
I never believed in my mind I would be saying something like this, but I have no choice because I have to, because logic demands it. The Miz rebuilt himself to a level I didn't think was possible. The fact that they made him lose after all he's done.
Well, Maurice lost, technically.
No, the Miz got pinned. Let's call it for what it is. The referee counted them both.
That was so dumb. I wanted to see Miz and Maurice hit a 10-knuckle shuffle on Nikki and Cena.
It was retarded on every level.
James, the Miz dominated Cena.
I was just going to say, I think the Miz stole the show. I mean,
they had to do that because I think they knew that the crowd wanted.
How great were those Miz's awesome chants? And he was playing into them, too.
Oh, yeah.
What they should, I stand by what I said. They should have did what they did at WrestleMania 7. Have Cena and Nikki Bella lose, but at the end, they do the proposal. Hey, listen, it didn't hurt the Macho Man one bit.
Well, first of all, the proposal was the dumbest thing ever. Joe Calabrese said he loved it. He was crying.
He might have been the only one, except for a couple of females.
It was
I don't know what Joe's thinking.
Either there's two options there. Either one, it was totally fake because we heard about this for months, or two, they've been engaged for a while. So there was no surprise.
Go for the reality show. But come on, not even a wedding could get John Cena over.
Wait, but you know what's really impressive? John Cena got his ass kicked in this match, and he wrestled the whole match with a diamond ring in his pocket, and it didn't get damaged. Very impressive.
But that's what happens when you push the wrong guy for 10 years.
Well, the segment was dumb. The Miz was great, though. I think The Miz had a great WrestleMania.
Do you think they would have...
If you need any indication as to why Roman Reigns is getting booed, just look at John Felix Anthony Cena.
Do you really think they would have booed the great Macho Man and Elizabeth when they had their body proposal? And Macho Man was a heel in that match.
Nobody likes Nikki Bella, though. I don't know why they thought everyone was going to get emotional for her.
Listen, I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a perfect match.
Well, listen. So The Miz, I think they got to do it. You know what they got to do with The Miz now is we lead into the next match, the worst match of the night, Orton versus Bray Wyatt. The Miz has to take the title from Orton again. ASAP. Get it off Orton. Give it to The Miz, and then The Miz can...
The fact that they... Listen, when I walked into WrestleMania... I only asked for two things. All these things we're talking about, all these other matches, I kept my mouth shut. I didn't care. I did something I'm not proud of. I lowered my standards. Big time. I only asked for two things out of this event. Number one, you just put the belt on Bray Wyatt. Don't take it off of him less than 2 months later. Dumb dicks. This is why he doesn't draw, because all he does is lose. Whenever it matters the most, he loses. And that is why none of their guys draw. You cannot book someone like a loser and then expect them to draw like a winner. Bray Wyatt, I have totally thrown in the fucking towel on him. It's ridiculous. He has a great character. He cuts good promos. Occasionally, he'll have a great match. This was ridiculous. Why
So,
the fuck would you put? Hold
the
on.
worst match on the card.
Why in the hell would you put the belt on Randy fucking Orton?
Why does Randy Orton win the Royal Rumble? I don't get it.
He's been the champion how many times? 11, 12 times? Once you've won the title that many times, there is no reason for you to be winning it.
Let me tell you, James, you see that title that Bray Wyatt lost? He's never getting it back.
Oh, listen.
Ever.
Done. He's done. And that's what I've been trying to explain to my sister. And I feel terrible for her because she's friends with Bray's wife. She's friends with Bray's sister.
Mika?
Yeah. She's even friends with friggin' Harper and Rowan.
What about Bo?
No, she hasn't conversed with him.
Listen,
Unbelievable.
He's conversed with Bo's wife, though.
what does it tell you when
Bo should join the Wyatts.
Bray has to he uses all this fancy magic, black magic to...
But that's what pisses me off. I would like to know, it's probably Kevin Dunn, because he probably looks at Bray Wyatt, and I have no shame in saying this. I'm 25 pounds overweight. He probably looks at Bray Wyatt and sees a fat fuck.
All right, but listen, I'm saying even character-wise, Bray Wyatt, he uses all this magic. He uses Sister Abigail's powers, and he still loses.
Because they don't know how to fucking book wrestling.
But it's the truth. Why does that make you feel? He's retarded. He uses all this. He conjures up.
It's ridiculous.
The new face of fear is not scary at all. You know
what I would like to know.
That was supposed to all that stuff that should have made Randy Orton go crazy. He should have
and then he hits like one of his worst RKOs.
He should have bugged out. There was bugs on him, and Bray should have.
So Frank, do you agree this is the worst match in the whole card?
It fell flat, big time.
And you know what? You shouldn't be surprised because their No Mercy match was horrendous too. They're two guys who wrestle really slow, methodical. The crowd can't get into that.
Should have been Bray and AJ.
I don't know.
How about AJ and Cena or Miz and Cena or Miz
and listen, if you look at Nick, you remember when you challenged me to do that WrestleMania card?
Miz and Cena was that they should have did.
What was my main event?
Miz versus
it was
AJ versus Styles. But they would have been a great match.
Oh, listen. Especially if you put it inside Hell in a Cell, you have two guys that have wrestled each other for months. They hate each other's guts. The biggest prize is on the line, and you put it in the main event of WrestleMania? Come on.
Well, listen, I think you got to consider that the storylines after WrestleMania, so that's why they probably.
Well, guess what? I don't know what the storylines are after WrestleMania because I ain't fucking watching.
That AJ's going to Raw, so that he doesn't. He's
not. Dallas is going to join the Wyatt family.
Maybe he has no business winning the WWE title if he's going to go to Raw.
The Miz should win the WWE title.
I think so. He should get it
by the end of the year. He should be champion.
Well, listen, Orton's a face. Miz should take it.
I'll be very surprised if when 2017 closes, The Miz is not wearing WWE title gold. I'll be very shocked.
The Miz,
the next match.
I'm telling you, The Miz should win the title as fake John Cena.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, at least until SummerSlam when Cena and Maurice comes back.
Well, we'll have to talk about his next opponent before I even get to the next match because James loves this guy. I mean, Frank think he's not going to be that good. And he's going to get destroyed in the mic against The Miz, and that's Nakamura.
Oh.
Frank, you want to take this one, or should we take it?
Honestly, I'm not having this conversation with the two of you, because if you don't see the charisma the guy has, I don't know what to tell you.
Listen, he does. Listen, I'm not saying...
If he has charisma, what more do you need?
It's not me. I'm telling you, it's
well, then you got to make that clear, because Nick thinks that you think he's not that good.
I don't... Listen, so far from what I see from him, I don't see it all that. I don't see him being a top guy. Intercontinental champion.
Top guy everywhere he's been.
Intercontinental champion, yes, maybe.
He's been a top guy where he doesn't have to speak.
Right. His entrance, yeah, it's over. What happens?
WWE's not giving him the time to do that entrance every week.
Right. Yeah, he's not going to get the violin. Maybe only on.
Yeah, but he didn't have the violin every week on NXT. The only time he had the violin was at Takeover Brooklyn and Takeover Toronto.
He'll have it at pay-per-views. What happens after people see the entrance 10?
They enjoy the match that he puts on because the guy could fucking wrestle.
This is the two tests. After the people see his entrance a few times, 10 times, and what happens after he loses clean a couple of times? That's going to be the test.
He's going to get exposed against The Miz on the mic if they're going to go that way.
Exposed? The guy's an all-around great talent.
He can't speak English.
You know who would get exposed on the mic against The Miz when he goes to SmackDown? Roman Reigns. You really think that the Roman Reigns could keep up with The Miz on the mic?
Well, they could just come back and have them beat up The Miz, but I don't know. Nakamura, he just make him make him his promos short and sweet.
See,
and
Frank, you said this a couple months ago on one of our other episodes, that somewhere along the way it became status quo that you have to cut 20-minute promos. Agreed. That shouldn't be, because not everyone can cut a promo like Dusty, like Rock, like all these great promo guys. Not everyone does that.
There's only 15 to 20 people in history who could cut.
Yeah, so that's why I don't think that should be required. That every single fucking week you got to cut 15 to 20-minute promos.
Him as a main eventer. I don't know any champions that couldn't cut a promo.
Undertaker was a main eventer from day one, and he barely cut that.
Cut a promo though. If you have a mystique character or you're a giant, you don't necessarily need it. I don't know.
But that's what to me, when I look at Shinsuke Nakamura, he has mystique to him, not to the Undertaker.
What's his mystique? That he dresses like Michael Jackson?
The bootleg Michael Jackson.
Hey, listen, the way I see it is this, and then I want to move on with Mania. If long as people are going to buy his merchandise and they cheer him, nothing else fucking matters.
Listen, I'll just be happy for the guy if he gets the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, you gotta hope he can have.
He was IWGP Intercontinental Champion, and he was closing the shows because he was that good.
All right, I mean, don't deny that he's going to be a good wrestler. We just don't know he's not going to get the time for his entrance.
But
and I don't think
he doesn't need 20 minutes for an entrance every week. He doesn't need the NXT ramp is the SmackDown ramp cut in half. So
he still takes 20 minutes to enter on NXT.
No, he doesn't.
Listen, they could just give him the entrance on pay-per-view.
The big entrance, I'm talking with the violinist, I wouldn't break that out.
Ever again.
No.
Ever again.
Now.
Maybe the violinist becomes his Ricardo Rodriguez. And he gets to do a tag.
The only times I would break out the violin is the same thing I said with Finn Balor and the Demon shit. I'd only bust it out at the big.
I was surprised Finn wasn't the Demon on Monday.
But it shouldn't be every week. It shouldn't be every month. I would only break out the Demon paint.
Before we move on to the last match, let's talk about one other debut, and that's Ty Dillinger. I think this guy's going to be a big-time face jobber. What do you think?
I agree. He looks very young and green. I don't expect much from him. You know.
Neither do I.
James?
I expect the same from Ty Dillinger that I expect from Mojo Rawley. They'll fall flat in a month.
Mojo doesn't get hype. He stays hyped. So I don't know how he's going to.
He doesn't get over. He stays not over.
What's Ty Dillinger's gimmick? 10? What's that mean? I don't know.
Perfect 10. He's the perfect 10 wrestler.
What happens when they make him do a one hand behind the back match? Is he going to be like 5?
Yeah, pretty much. No, but before we get into the final matches, like I said, the violin, the demon paint, those things, I would only bust them out at the big four. You have to make them special. Because if it happens all the time, it ain't special. That's just me. But moving on, Goldberg and Brock.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And
I manage the most undeserving champion on the roster.
Get lost.
I gotta say, I think it was the best match. 6 minutes of hardcore, just pounding.
That's what they should have did in 2004.
Very exciting.
I will give them this. They erased the bullshit that they did in 2004. I will give them that credit.
The match definitely delivering.
No, it delivered. Not saying they didn't deliver.
The match was intense. I thought after Brock's first 3 suplexes and then Goldberg no-sold it and speared him, I said, oh, my God, I can't believe.
Nick, there's some hope. Cabrera just got walked. Maybe
1-1, battle of the ninth for the Mets.
Yeah, I really thought they were going to make Goldberg go over again.
Listen, kudos to Goldberg for being able to take 10 suplexes. I didn't think he was going to be able to do it.
Well, listen, if you're going to be the champion and you're going to be in a high-profile match, you're expected to take that type of punishment.
James, you got what you wished for. They didn't main event. He thought they were going to main event, and they didn't.
Nope, they didn't.
I think that was one of the most exciting, intense.
Hey, listen, I'm not going to say it wasn't exciting.
Goldberg's spear the barricade was cool. Somebody behind the spear got totally crushed by Lesnar.
I thought
I likened the Goldberg Brock stuff to Rock and Cena. When it was over, nobody really benefited because Brock's not going to be a bigger star than what he is. Goldberg's not. You got a whole roster of guys that need to be bigger stars.
What was the purpose of Lesnar becoming champ? There's only one purpose:
to put over the Universal title, to give it credibility.
And then and then there's going to be one man who defeats him, not Finn Balor. That's for sure.
Well, maybe. We always know all roads lead to
Well, I can tell you this: during that Paul Heyman promo, the fans were saying we want Balor.
Right, but what's going to happen? Me and Frank discussed this today. If they have a match, Finn's going to go, "Hey," and in the middle of that, he's going to get suplexed.
The Demon King is going to take a wrong turn into Suplex City. He is. Come on. Do you realize how ridiculous it's going to be when Brock and Finn Balor go face to face? Finn Balor looks like a little kid compared to Brock.
I could care less because I saw Shawn Michaels beat up guys like Sid Vicious and
now,
The Undertaker.
What you can
Guys
do,
don't mean nothing to me.
What you can do, maybe as the Demon King, he could. You could say that he increases his powers, but I don't know.
Honestly, what I would do is you put it in an environment where there's no rules. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, the only way Brock's losing that to Roman is another triple threat match.
Yeah, the next person that beats Brock is the person that they're going to put all their chips on.
Yep. All right, so one match left for us to discuss. But before we do that, I forgot one thing to mention the Battle Royal. Did you guys see when Gronk was coming over the barricade, the security guard had no idea who she was, and she was trying to stop him from entering the ring?
Yes.
How did they not know who Gronk is, and how did they not tell her he's going to come into the match?
I don't know. They should have told. They should have warned her.
I know. All right, so last match that we got to talk about was the 6-pack challenge. It was an okay match. I don't know what
it served its purpose,
but
it served its purpose.
Feel the glow. Naomi won. I thought Carmella could have had a chance. They should have added more people into this. Emelina could have been here, and then Emma could have been on Raw. Summer Rae, Eva Marie, I guess, is done with the company, but that would have been enormous, great heat for her if they had her there. Natalya could have won, but I think the right person won, and Naomi.
So do I.
Pretty much.
Frank agrees.
Yeah, it's our hometown.
Yeah, I wish that the belt would have glowed in the dark, though, somehow. But it was cool.
Just won it that night. Maybe she'll make some alterations to it.
So what do you think about Kurt as GM?
I hate it. I thought Teddy Long should have been the GM because they didn't want
Nick is not a fan of Kurt Angle at all.
I know. Because I know where this is leading. They're going to do Kurt Angle versus a Stephanie power struggle, and they're going to Triple H versus Kurt Angle, and Triple H is going to win, and we're going to get Triple H and Stephanie running Raw again.
I hope not. But I think they could get a few good months out of Kurt. He's going to be funny, and like you said, eventually he's going to get pissed off and maybe take off the suit and get back in there. He's going to be the GM who could back it up.
Kurt Angle's my fourth favorite of all time. So if he's going to get himself a payday, kudos to him.
All right, so I think this is it. We're coming to the end here.
Yes,
James, we're gonna miss you, man.
Well, I feel it's only right that I give my reasons, and it's very simple. And I would actually like some feedback. I feel that the WWE used my hero's retirement as a means to further their agenda of pushing a guy who's not over, and I feel that it's disrespectful. The Undertaker gave his entire fucking life to the business. He worked with a fucking crushed face, for Christ's sakes. And he put a mask on and fought. How did Triple H put it? He had broken ribs. You know what those broken ribs were from? It was from a car accident. And you know when it was? A day before WrestleMania 13. Who was on the marquee in the main event that night?
Listen, we don't have to put over the Undertaker any more than he is already.
But the point I'm trying to make is, you knew he was retiring. Why would you not? I didn't want him to win because all legends go out on their back. I understand that. I don't like it, but I understand it.
In hindsight, listen, he's the old Undertaker. He's the 51-year-old Undertaker. It's like Larry Holmes and Muhammad Ali losing their last match and getting beat up. Who cares?
I didn't mind him losing. That wasn't my issue.
It's who he lost to. Who he lost to.
It's not even who he lost to. I did not mind Roman Reigns beating him.
So what are you upset about?
They didn't fucking turn him heel.
I guess he is a heel already.
No, he's not. That's bullshit. A heel is someone that does dastardly things and the friggin' announcers call it. Not go on fucking television and say, oh, they cheer who they usually boo and boo who they usually cheer. 2 years in a fucking row they did that for this guy.
Listen, to hold on to your sanity, just look at Roman Reigns as a heel.
I can't. Because all they're going to do is push him.
We'll see.
And Nick, there's no we'll see. You guys will see. I won't.
James, are you saying the title of the show is Talk Wrestling with Nick and Frank?
You guys could do whatever the hell you want. I still plan on using my channel to cover the Mets.
I'm joking.
I'm joking.
Frank, if you want to join me, be my guest.
Frank, I think we should do Talking Wrestling with Frank and Andrew and his terrible Wi-Fi.
I still plan, like I put in the description of this video.
Number 9.
Everyone that wants to hear wrestling reviews involving us to go to Frank's channel because Frank, I actually watched your last video and I thought it was very well done.
Thank you.
I think you should repeat why Roman Reigns is getting booed. It's not just that they hate him. It was something you said at the beginning of the show. About how after 10 years of having, and Nick, I understand that you're kind of tone deaf to this, and no matter how many times we say it, you'll never get it. After 10 years of Cena being pushed down the fans' throats and up their asses against their will, they see Roman Reigns getting the same treatment.
Yeah, they see.
Who do you like better, Cena or Roman Reigns?
I don't like either one of them. I was a fan of Roman Reigns. I am not anymore.
Well, what I said was the fans see another 10 years of the wrong guy.
I honestly think Roman Reigns is going to end up main eventing like 9 WrestleManias, and he's going to be like a 20-time champ.
Who knows? I don't know.
Well, all I can tell you is this. Every year the ratings keep going down. And you want to know something? Frank and I discussed this on our last video. When 2019 rolls around and they got to go into that meeting with USA to discuss their next deal, they are not going to be able to walk into that meeting with their chest puffed out. And I'll tell you something, Mr. Durst.
Tell me.
Once their ratings reach TNA levels, I got news for you. Listen, nobody thought they were going to go below 3s.
It's a different time.
Listen, ratings. Frank, what did you say about people that say ratings don't matter?
I say, ask the executives at
NFL ratings went down. Raw is still one of the top-rated shows on Mondays. It's probably USA's #1 rated show. They're not going to lose the deal.
No, they're not going to lose it, but I'm just saying
Right.
they're not going to get as much money.
Let's not get into ratings so we can go on for another hour. I want to leave it at this. James, the comments are already rolling in. They're saying to you, one more comment, one more rant. And then once you finally do it, you're going to get the "you still got it" comment.
I saw that earlier on, Nick, and I appreciate that. And listen, I've been watching wrestling since I'm 3 years old, since my dad took me to MSG, where I shook hands with The Undertaker. That's the first time I was ever exposed to wrestling. I have loved wrestling since then. And I feel that wrestling doesn't value their fans. And I'm going to quote Dutch Mantel, who you know is Zeb Coulter. Wrestling fans are the most loyal fans in the world until you smack them in the face.
Well, Frank, you think this is going to be like a Mick Foley type of retirement or like a Ric Flair type of retirement or an HBK type of retirement from wrestling?
For The Undertaker?
No, for James.
Nah, he'll be back. Come on, James. Heroes come and go. Heroes are born and die every day.
I'm not upset about Undertaker losing and retiring. I accepted he was going to retire a very long time ago. What I resent is the fact that they allow babyface Roman Reigns, who is the most hated man in wrestling, after beating said legend, to maintain his babyface status.
Right now, Roman is the top heel and Brock is the top face.
And you take the
That
two
is
and
not
you make them the
how-
one versus the one.
You don't think Brock is the top face?
Who is presented as the top babyface?
Seth
Exactly.
Rollins. It's terrible.
No, he's not.
No, I'm saying in reality, right now, Brock is the top babyface. The fans,
No, actually, the top babyface in WWE is AJ Styles.
maybe, but Brock,
Right behind him is Brock.
Brock got cheered Monday. The
Of course, he
fans,
got cheered Monday. You don't think those fans were pissed off that Goldberg beat Kevin Owens in 20 fucking seconds?
he made.
You don't think that pissed people off?
Before we go, I really like Goldberg's speech after Raw, and he shut the fans up real quick. He came back for all the right reasons. He came back for the kids, to see him and his child. I give him all the credit in the world.
Hey, listen, I had no problem with Goldberg coming back. My only issue with Goldberg was that I didn't think he should have beat Kevin Owens in 21 seconds.
I doubt it was his idea. The match was pointless.
No, and it was Brock's idea to get squashed by Goldberg.
I didn't care. They had
their match delivered.
The problem with
Goldberg, no, it absolutely did.
Listen, the problem with Goldberg, it's just like Mike Tyson used to be. Everybody gets happy about the early first round knockouts, the quick squash matches, but then it gets redundant, and then once he loses, it's over. He's got to take a break.
Yep, and he's taking a break, just like James.
He'll be back. If he's going to come back, it has to be within the next year, SummerSlam or next year's WrestleMania.
We shall see. He's definitely still a draw, but I guess we'll see if he comes back for SummerSlam or Survivor Series WrestleMania. Much like me, you both think James will be back, but for now, we say rest in peace, Jimmy Mania.
No, I have no shame in saying. Ever since Sunday, I made the decision that I was done. I made the decision that I couldn't watch this anymore. You know, I always got from guys like Mike who've been on the show, oh, if you don't like it, don't watch. Okay, I'm not watching. Am I now allowed to have an opinion on the business? It's ridiculous.
James, you'll see. The more the years go by, once you stop watching as a fan, it'll be much healthier.
Agreed. All right, James, give us the last words and then end the stream.
Okay, I will. People that complain about professional wrestling, in particular the WWE, and continue to watch, they do it for two reasons. Habit and hope. Habit because they've been doing it for so long, and the hope that it's going to get better. Nick, you, and Frank can identify with that because we're all Mets fans. How many years do the Mets burn us by getting fucked with injuries, with bad decisions being made, like not fucking signing Daniel Murphy when they should have? We go through it every year with this team, that they constantly fucking disappoint us, but yet we still support them. Why? Because we love the New York Mets. Right or wrong?
So
what I'm saying is that's why I've hung around for so long, because it's been a habit that I've been doing it since I'm a kid, and I always had hope that it was going to get better. But once you lose all hope and you break the habit, you turn into that 50% of the audience that WWE let go. And I've been called every name in the book by people that are pro-WWE. And listen, I went to go see Beauty and the Beast thinking that Emma Watson was going to suck as Belle. I didn't think that Luke Evans was a good choice for Gaston, because to me, I thought he would have been better in another role. I went to see that movie, and I was happily surprised that both actors were phenomenal. I would much rather have watched WrestleMania 33, come on this show with you two, and said, my God, we just witnessed one of the best WrestleManias in history. I would much rather be wrong. See, there's a perception, and I'm only getting all this out because I'm not going to do this again. There's a perception of me that I just want to be right. I'd rather not. I'd rather be wrong. I wish I could come here on here and say that, you know, their hand-chosen guy, Roman Reigns, is the most popular wrestler they have. They're pushing the most over guy in the company. I can't say that. The guy is vehemently hated. He was hated before Sunday. Now you have him retire the GOAT. And yes, I understand, Nick, that Taker didn't draw as much money as The Rock or Hogan, but in my mind, Undertaker's the GOAT. How anyone expects Roman to get cheered after he just basically murdered The Undertaker and took away his career, how delusional do you have to be?
But don't you think that was the plan?
No, I think that what their plan was simple. We're going to do what we want, and if you don't like it, too bad.
But you don't think they knew that Roman was going to get booed?
I don't think. I think they knew, and I think they didn't care.
That they want. That's what they want.
Makes no sense.
But that's what they want, James.
Why do they want Why do they want the guy that they want to be the face of their company to be hated?
Because they'll figure sooner or later he's gonna. One day he's gonna. The fans are gonna turn around and cheer him, and then he's gonna be the guy. No pun intended.
How do you do that when you're constantly giving your audience no reason?
They think it's gonna happen organically. One of these days, the fans are just gonna respect him, and
well,
all we could say is, for a while now, this YouTube channel, it's been.
Oh, listen, my YouTube channel will still be running. My YouTube channel will still be running.
Wrestling, the yard
I plan on covering the Mets.
For repairs.
I plan on covering the Mets. I plan on covering other things. You guys are always welcome. Frank, please. I have to say, it's been an honor. You can laugh all you want, but you sat with me every single episode from 2014 to now. Honestly, Frank's channel's better. He gets more views on doing his solo videos than we do together. And Frank is probably better off without me.
no.
So, James, who inducts Undertaker into the Hall of Fame next year?
Who should it be?
Yeah.
It should be Mick Foley.
Mick Foley or Kane, or
his greatest opponent.
It's going to be one of the three.
How about Vince McMahon?
Yeah, I was going to Vince, Foley, or Kane. It's going to be one of those three.
See, any of those three, Nick, that you just mentioned, I'm cool.
How about Roman Reigns?
That's just to get a rise out of me, and I'm not giving you the satisfaction.
No, I'm being serious. I can see it happening.
Let's end it now. Let's end it.
Well,
Sign off.
I'll catch you later.
Until the next time. See you on the other side.
This is the end. Look forward to the new show, Talking Wrestling with Frank and Andrew's Pilots Turbo Wi-Fi.
Number
You guys have
9.
fun with that.
What
For
is it?
me,
Number 9.
for me, when it comes to this shit, I'm out. It's been real. It's been a good 24 years. And honestly, I feel liberated. I actually feel good.
The Undertaker will be back.
No, he won't, and neither will I.